I mean, you look at me and you think, well, gosh, pastors they couldn't get any better than this. There's a cynicism. I mean, people don't trust anybody. People don't trust doctors. They don't. You say, why? Let me explain to you. You know that in the 1800s, I know some of you don't like when I tell these kind of things, but I just do this enormous amount of reading that sometimes appears to be irrelevant, but actually has a point. In the 1800s, in fact, the 1850s, there was a book written. It's called Coral Island. It is set on an uninhabited island where a bunch of British schoolboys are shipwrecked. And the moral, the point, the setting for the story on this island is that these boys build this utopian society that is predicated on the principles of love and justice and equality for everybody. 100 plus years later, in the 1960s, a similar book with a similar setting, a similar storyline is written. Many of you have read it, we're required to read it, The Lord of the Flies. It was written 110 years after Coral Island, and a bunch of British schoolboys are shipwrecked on an abandoned, uninhabited island. And instead of building a utopian society, in their thirst and lust for power, they end up turning on one another, destroying one another, and murder and division and hatred and violence characterize society. Now, you can read one novel from one century and one novel from another century, and you can think, well, that's just an artistic expression. No, actually, here's what happened. 200 years ago, Western civilization, the influence of the world that you and I are living in, was built on Christian hope and a Christ-centered view of the world that included the fact that one day Jesus, who's king, is going to come back to this world and he's going to bring healing into a world that is broken and cursed by sin. And 100 years later, that hope is lost. Let me make an observation, and I did this in the early service this morning. This is not intended in any way at all to be disparaging. And I don't want you to, there's no political statement in this at all. But one of the things that I find so interesting about modern music and modern church music, and again, I love modern church music and I love music because it's not a disparaging comment about that in any way, is that if you listen to older hymns that were written 100 years ago, there's a great deal of emphasis on heaven, on eternity, on death. In fact, in older Christian music, death is not something it's not distasteful at all. Now, I do this, some of you don't ever think about these things, but you don't have to, but I notice sometimes that even when we sing older songs, if we eliminate verses to songs, we oftentimes eliminate the verses that talk about death. Can I tell you something? Our hope is not in this world. It cannot possibly be. Let me let you know a little secret. This may really disappoint some of you. Do you know that the government's not going to fix the healthcare problem in America? You can elect